All right, we are live. Good evening, everyone. Alone tonight. Sanji's got another date night. Looks like I'm looking at the ratio of each week, and it looks like I'm having Buddy here with me every other week. I'm starting to see a pattern in when he chooses to come in and sit on the other side of the table from me. But we got a lot to talk about tonight. I say we have a lot to talk about. I think it's also a bit of the calm before the storm. Seems like everybody I know's on the Redneck Riviera in Destin or Orange Beach or wherever, really the calm before the storm because SEC Media Days coming up. And of course, we now know that Austin Deculus and Derek Stingley Jr. are going to represent LSU. Usually there's 3 players. This year there's 2. Of course, there wasn't an SEC Football Media Days last year, so we'll have a little bit of that. Then after SEC Media Week, we'll have the dead period in recruiting end, and then LSU will host a Junior Day style event at the end of July. Then the recruiting dead period will end again. And then football camps are going to start for both LSU, high schools in the area, and all hell's going to break loose for us here at TigerBait.com. Preston Guy will start his show back up as well early next month. And we're going to be adding some more things on TigerBait as far as our live shows on YouTube and Facebook. So be sure to hit the like button, particularly on our YouTube channel. We're going to have a lot of content coming there, a lot of player interviews. All that stuff is loaded for you for free on TigerBait.com on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you get alerted every time we load something new on TigerBait.com's YouTube channel. And of course, we're also, when we go live, we're live on both Facebook and YouTube at the same time. And this show seems to be growing by leap and bounds, and that's due to you guys out there on the internet. As always, the show's brought to you by Pride Roofing. I want to thank Mike Faraday and Alex Martinez for being our major sponsor of this show. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. And of course, I'll talk more a little bit about them in the show. But as always, we've had more people jump on that deal. It's very popular. Call them for your free roof inspection at 225-275-2041 and say TigerBait.com, and they will pay for you to have annual premium TigerBait for 1 year with your free roof inspection. And that's residential or commercial, and that's anywhere from Sulphur, Louisiana to Gulf Shores, Alabama, and everything in between. As north as Jackson in Mississippi, as north as Alexandria in Louisiana, and all of South Louisiana is handled by them. Really, really big on the North Shore. Of course, their main location is in Albany, Louisiana, and we'll talk a little bit more about Pride Roofing. Those of you in the chat, please do me a favor. If you're on Facebook, please share to the LSU groups. Very much appreciative. And share it to your own Facebook timeline. Hit the like button, and do the same thing on YouTube. If you enjoy the show, very much appreciative. And if you like and share. And I think it was about 3 or 4 weeks ago, the feature with the super chats arrived on our YouTube channel. And we've been putting that money that you guys have been so gracious with, we've been putting that into a kitty for new video equipment for our upcoming football season. So that's very much appreciative. So Kenneth Haynes, where is the Pride Roofing shirt? I've got a stack of them. I'm not going to wear them every week, but I wore the blue one last week. The purple one, I think Buddy's going to wear a Pride Roofing shirt next week. We're not going to both wear them at the same time, so I think I'm going to wear the purple one in a couple of weeks. Carl Dunn gives me a good evening, Mike. How you doing, Carl the cat? Blaine Smith. Hello, Mike. I'm pumped about the upcoming season. Orgeron, Kiffin, and Leach at Media Days. Can't wait. Thoughts on where Emory Jones will sign at the end of the month? I don't see that being anywhere but LSU. Of course, Monday morning, bright and early, 7 a.m., I was the lone media guy at Catholic High's Cur Dog Combine, their second annual. Coach Semino and his staff did a fantastic job doing that for the second year in a row. Of course, this is Semino's first year. Emory Jones and Shelton Sampson did not participate. No need for them to participate in the Combine. Everybody knows what they can do. They got the day off. But I did see some prospects there that I thought looked very good. Coach Semino is going to send a full sheet out to us on how everybody ran the 40, the shuttle, broad jump, etc. And they've got a really nice wide receiver that's going to be class of 24 or 25 that I saw out there, and a few others. So they're going to be as good as usual. But Emory Jones, I was hoping Emory was going to swing by there just to watch, so that way I can maybe get him for a short interview. But as you all know, Emory's a high 4-star guard and can go anywhere he wants. And I think that's LSU's been the leader for him for quite some time. And I think on July 30th, it'll be LSU. Absolutely fantastic football player. He's gotten close with Will Campbell, Walker Howard, and many other prospects in this class. They all play video games together. And I really think, having covered recruiting for so many years, I can honestly say I think this group of recruits, for whatever reason, just seems a little bit closer of a group in total. What did we see last Saturday when Fitzgerald West committed? You saw Welch there from Acadiana, cornerback commitment. You saw Walker there. You saw Will Campbell, who was in Lafayette because he's hanging out at Walker Howard's and Jamie Howard's house, and he does that a lot. So it just shows you how close all these kids are, and they're working the phones and recruiting each other. And Emory's certainly in that group. And how about Bo Bordelon? I know a lot of you saw my tweet on Sunday, and if you're on Tiger Den, expounded upon the news that, I think it was about this time last year, Bo Bordelon might have been about 238, maybe 240 tops. Now he's in the 280s, and he's a beast. And everything that Ben Bordelon, of course, Ben was a former LSU offensive lineman in the early to mid-90s, and everything that he told me 2 years about Bo, as far as what his weight was going to be, how it was going to come on, because Bo was identical to him in high school, and it's all come true. If you saw the photo of him giving you the double bicep pose, the kid is an absolute beast. So I can't wait to see Bo Bordelon this upcoming football season. He's got a 3-star ranking right now, and now that he's at 280 and he'll be at 300 before you know it, I think that kid has a real good chance of being a 4-star real quick, and then maybe even scaling up the 4-star charts, because as you know, there's a whole lot of 4-stars depending on which service and which rankings you want to see, but there's a good many of them, and I think Bo's got a real good chance to move up. I think he's just now starting to come into his own. Let's see what we got here. Any offensive tackles we can land? Let's see what Coach Davis can do. I really want to see who might be there at the end of the month for unofficial visits. Is there any new kids that he's going to bring in? And then once official visits and unofficial visits start happening during the football season, of course, opening weekend is at UCLA, but once they have their first home game, let's start seeing what prospects come in from out of state for visits as far as offensive linemen. I think when you add Emory Jones, you got Bordelon, of course you got Campbell, you got Fitzgerald West. I still think you need a couple of more in the class, and I think they're going to need to come from out of state. Is there maybe a kid in state that they're looking at? I think there is, but I want to see from out of state, who can they possibly bring in? And I see Charles Duncan has a similar question. I've been waiting for this one. Brian Madeir, hey Mike, from his latest interview the other morning, it looks like Wiggins may be joining Moss at Bama. What's your take? I disagree. I think that Quincy, it's what time of the morning was that? 7 in the morning. I know what I'm like. It's 7 in the morning at my age, and I know what I was like at his age. Not a morning guy, and that's what I'm going to chalk that up to. Based on what I know, I would not bet against LSU for Quincy Wiggins. And you brought up Moss, Le'Veon Moss from Estruma. Keep an eye on that one. You heard it here. I'm going to tell you to keep an eye on Le'Veon Moss. It's always something that's said is when Alabama gets a commitment, it's not often that they lose them or that they flip them. And certainly LSU's not had any luck flipping kids that have committed to Alabama. Watch out for Le'Veon Moss. That's all I got to say on that one. There's some real scuttlebutt out there on that one. And don't kid yourself. All the Baton Rouge area kids, they're all tight. They all talk. They all hang out together, even if they're all at different high schools. is a city of this size. They're still close together, and they all talk. So pay attention to that one. And like Charles Duncan says, Bama has 6 running backs. It's not like LSU has a small group either. Not saying that he's gonna decommit from Bama, but I think there's some movement there. I don't know what direction it's going to finally end up, but I don't think that I think that one is not 100%. I'll leave it at that. Dorian Starkey, how are things going? Will Wade in basketball recruiting, Mike? Good question. I'm gonna be honest with you, Dorian. I haven't done a lick of basketball recruiting in weeks. I need to reach out and find out what's going on there. Obviously, Will Wade's got a revamped roster, and it's going to be a good one, and they're going to be a good basketball team. I think between what Jay Johnson is putting together in baseball, what I think the LSU football season is going to be like, Kim Mulkey, and all the other sports that have continued to perform at a high level, I think we're about to see a banner year in LSU athletics across the board. Women, beach volleyball, gymnastics, the works. Henry Gordon Bennett, hey Mike, really enjoy your live shows. Can you put a finger on why LSU can't recruit every position at elite level out, but absolutely struggle getting blue chip offensive linemen out of state? Look, I think LSU needs to show a history of putting offensive linemen in the league and then performing at a high level. I think those numbers are going to get there. LSU has also been hampered by the fact that this state doesn't have a whole lot of years like this one where you've got multiple kids in state. And, a lot of people accuse me for years of defending Coach Craig and others before him. And first of all, there aren't a whole lot of very good tackles out there. They don't grow on trees like defensive backs. And even the ones that are sometimes inside your top 250 nationally or top 300, a lot of those guys aren't going to pan out. They just don't. And so I just think you have to keep signing big classes, and you've got to have a guy with a personality that can go out of state, and you've got to get him on campus for camps. So between no camps last year because of COVID, I think that really set LSU back a bit. But they're also at an advantage because this year you got Campbell, Bordelon, Emory Jones, and Fitzgerald West, who now, in the last 6 weeks got an LSU and an Alabama offer, and of course committed to LSU on Saturday. Kenny Russell, you guys know I love Aaron Anderson. Aaron Anderson is still solid to LSU. I think, from what I see, LSU is still very confident with Aaron Anderson. And I think what makes people nervous about Aaron is that he's not a big Twitter guy. He doesn't do a ton of interviews. When I went to their spring game, when they faced Ruston, I had to practically beg him to do the interview I got with him. And then once he started talking, he was real good, if you happen to see that on TigerBait. I think LSU's in a good spot with him, but obviously Mickey Joseph needs to continue to recruit him like he's not committed and stay on top of him, because I think Aaron Anderson is absolutely out of this world. And then also Shaz Preston at St. James is a guy that they absolutely want to get in this class. And of course Kendrick Law up at Captain Shreve. Citizen at Lake Charles Prep, still after HN. I mentioned Le'Veon Moss earlier. So there is still a ton in this class. They're going to make this class one of the top 2 or 3 in the nation when it's all said and done. Duncan, you're saying, is Kendrick Law still solid LSU? Well, he's not committed to LSU, but I know a lot of people have gotten nervous about Alabama in recent weeks, and I hope to talk to him very soon. Yes, Charles Duncan, you have to develop offensive linemen. You just need to sign you got to sign numbers every year. That way you can absorb misses and it's not going to kill you. Brandon Reese, hey Mike, I probably asked you this already, but what will be your real expectations for Jay Johnson his first year? I was talking to Brian Lazar earlier this evening. Of course, Coach Johnson finished off his staff, and like we thought, he's bringing Chief over, the guy they call Chief, Mark Wanaka, as his what do you call that? The non-paid coach, but of course they get paid. They get paid. They get paid. Believe me, through camps and other means. Is the volunteer coach, and he's a heck of a hitting coach. So I think they're going to have a lot of talent, and with what he's bringing through the transfer portal, the question is going to be: does he have a Friday night and a Saturday night pitcher that can go toe to toe with the upper echelons of the SEC? That remains to be seen. That's where the big doubts are at. And so, as of now, it looks to me like Jay Johnson is kind of sticking to Paul Maneri's media schedule. And I think maybe it has something to do with Bill Franquez, of course, longtime LSU Sports Information Director, who's kind of leading the way and kind of doing things the way they've always been done. And I think over time, maybe Coach Johnson will say, okay, I don't want to do as many of those. Obviously, he's more of a, let me get my work done guy and not as much of a media guy. But I'm starting to wonder if over time he's going to get used to the media here in town, and he's just going to keep doing what we've always, as far as media access. And then we'll see on speaking engagements, Rotary clubs, Kiwanis, and all that stuff. He's going to be similar. But man, we got him tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. The media does. So we're going to have him tomorrow, which he's going to answer more questions about transfer portal, the draft that just concluded, who he's got to return. And so we're going to get another crack at him. And he's going to have Dugas and Fontenot there for us tomorrow. So I haven't seen anything change as far as Coach Johnson and the media, which was always the thing that I think endeared Coach Maneri. He was, good or bad, was that he was always available to the media, always return calls. And Jay Johnson, if you saw Jacques Doucet, I got that on the front page of TigerBait.com. I embedded Jacques' one-on-one with Coach Johnson from yesterday, and that was fantastic. And so y'all need to watch that on the front page of TigerBait. But as far as what they're going to do next season, I think if they can get a couple of pitchers in that are legit Friday and Saturday pitchers, this team could really do some damage. I put a poll on the front page of TigerBait 2 days ago. And in fact, let me see where it's at right now, where I asked that exact question. And y'all need to go vote on that too, by the way. The 2022 LSU baseball team will make it to a regional, 9%. Make it to a super regional, 28%. Make it to Omaha, 64% say this next year's baseball team is going to make it to Omaha. So I think it's safe to say that Coach Johnson, between his press conference, news of transfers, his staff, etc., has gotten a lot of people excited about the future of LSU baseball. So I think that's a good thing. All right, guys, let me scroll through here. By the way, please do me a favor, like and share. If you're on Facebook, share this to your Facebook timeline. Hit the like button. It helps our algorithm. And if you're watching us on YouTube, do me a favor and hit the subscribe button if you enjoy the show, and the notification bell. And that way, every time we go live, which we're going to be doing a whole lot now that football season is within an eyelash, you'll get notified every time we go live. Let's see what else we got. Sidney Bonnet, really impressed with Johnson. He is going to do well. I am as well. I was at the press conference, his introductory press conference, and he was really Saban-esque in the way that he answered questions and, the whole process thing. It's obvious he's either viewed some Saban coaching clinics or read some books or what have you. But we found out later that, yeah, he's like a lot of coaches, he's paid attention to Nick Saban over the years, as well as Skip Bertman. He mentioned that in his press conference. Let's see. Sidney Bonnet, they add a pitcher or two, and Omaha is realistic. Lineup should be Murderer's Row. I think they're going to have the hitting, but they need a true Friday and Saturday pitcher. That's from everybody that I talked to. is really hardcore baseball guys. Let's see, the boy Sydney, you're getting me a bunch tonight. What happened 15 years ago has no bearing on them. Completely different staff. They want to know the guys that are coaching them now to get them in the league. That's absolutely true. But you have to have a little bit of a track record. You want to have that whole DBU thing. You want to be able to do that at every position. And I think LSU's starting to amass some guys, offensive linemen that are there and that are going to be there. So don't kid yourself. They want you to show them that that the position they're coming in for, that you have a history of putting them in the league and the guys staying there. That's a good question. Pat Mashburn, who are some of the receivers that need to show progress before the coaching staff starts to recruit over them? Look, man, look, you had some guys in the spring that really showed out. I mean, Jenkins and we know what Butte can do. I've been wanting to see some more from Trey Palmer. I think he had some moments. But look, when you've got Besh and Brian Thomas and Chris Hilton, those are some fabulous guys right there. And then, we're already talking about Aaron Anderson and Shaz Preston's a part of this class. Kendrick Law, who you can do so many things with offensively. Coach Peets absolutely wants him on the offensive side of the ball, even though he could be a star on either side. You're just always going to recruit receivers and in big numbers in every class. So, you're getting recruited over every year. There's no doubt. If you don't get it done after a while, there's going to be a hot shot at that position because this state produces so many of them. Kenny Russell. Mike, if we can keep Anderson, I really think the kid can be electrifying in the slot. Coaches are saying he's going to play Justin Jefferson's role. I agree. I just think what he does after the catch is outstanding. He's going to get knocked for his height. He's probably, 5'8", 5'9". But if you've seen his ball skills, if you've seen his highlight tape, I'm watching him at the Car Spring game. He's built like a running back. He's got insane balance, awareness of where he's at on the field, confidence level. You guys know I love me some Aaron Anderson. And there's some fools still out there. I'm going to keep calling them names until they get it right. There's some true idiots out there that don't have him ranked where he deserves to be ranked. And look, this is a tough one in Louisiana. I'm telling you, when you start jogging those numbers and you start talking about Will Campbell and Walker Howard and Jacoby Matthews, Emory Jones is one of the top guards in the nation. The running backs are stellar. Aaron Anderson's, to me, is a National 100 kid. Shaz Preston is way up the list. Kendrick Law's way up the list. I mean, this state has an abundance, in my mind, of top 100 kids. And really, I think, of course, on TigerBait, I can do anything I want. I can give you 8 5-stars if I want. But I think there's a whole lot of kids that I don't know what the number is, but I'm telling you, there's probably at least seven kids that I believe are bona fide National 100 kids in the state of Louisiana this year, and probably 5 that you can legitimately fight for if you were sitting at a conference table or on a Zoom call with a national recruiting network and beat the table for 5-star status and make an argument. So that's just what I believe. Kenny Russell, I heard you had Savion Jones as a 5-star. Yep, I actually had Savion as my number 1 player in the state in last year's class. And it was, I wasn't trying to be provocative. I know some people thought that, whether he was 1A and Mason Smith being 1B. But I do think that maybe a situation where Mason has a earlier start or makes noise quicker than Savion, and as Savion gets bigger and stronger and more mature by year 2 or 3, then you've got a real debate. And whatever it's going to be. Both those guys are high 5 stars, and LSU's defensive line is going to be special. So between upperclassmen, newcomers, without a doubt, this is Ed Orgeron's, in my mind, best defensive line since he's been at LSU. Just if they all stay healthy, his ability to rotate kids in and out is going to be outstanding. Want to talk about Pride Roofing? They make this show go every week. Thanks to Mike Faraday and Alex Martinez, absolutely the best guys in the business. Born and raised here in Baton Rouge. Mike Faraday, an LSU grad, went to Broadmoor High School. Both of these guys are contractors. They swing a hammer, and they've got the best warranty on roofs in the business on their labor. And there's no builder grade materials. Give them a call, 225-275-2041. Tell them you heard about it on TigerBait.com, and they're going to pay for you to have TigerBait Premium for a year. And that doesn't matter if you're talking about your roof for your business, commercial applications, or residence. Have them come out, give you a free roof inspection, and they're going to pay for you to have free TigerBait. No obligation. You don't have to buy anything. Just get your roof inspected. If you're wanting to know how much life you have left in your roof, if you've got some issues up on your roof, if you need them to work with your insurance adjuster, if your insurance company is demanding 3 bids, get them to give you one of their bids. They'll match the lowest price. We've had several times where guys have jumped on this bill, and Mike and Alex have come in and beat the lowest price if they were a little high, and they beat it every time. And everybody that has been referred to them by TigerBait has absolutely been happy with their roof. So there you go. Let's see here. Bart Smokey, my buddy Bart, of course, little on hiatus right now with their LSU Tiger Talk show in Alexandria. Listen to them on KZMZ. And we'll start that back up the first Monday in August. They're on from 4 to 6 every Monday in that market. And one of my favorite shows. Fayard kid from Texas. Of course, his dad, Johnny, played for Shaw. Posted some video of him. No offers yet. I think he's one to watch. Class of 2023. I'm going to be real curious to see what JT Fayard, Texas quarterback, Foster High School, what kind of offers he gets this year. I put that up because that's interesting. And then there's a whole lot of kids that have LSU ties out of state. We did Cole Lord last year. Of course, his dad, Blaine, from New Iberia, lives out in Los Angeles, big LSU booster. He's got another son who's going to be a 9th grader, and class of 24, Boone Lord, who is also at LSU camp, that I think looks very, very good. I think he's going to be better than Cole, and he's wanting to watch. Florida State and Ole Miss have already offered him, so we'll see. Bruce Steele, look at him with the super chat. Very much appreciate that, Mr. Steele. How many spots should the Tigers leave open for the transfer portal? Good question. And thank you for the super chat. We're putting that in our new video camera, Kitty. Thanks to all of you that send us super chats each week. That's a good question. We were talking about that today because, look, we still don't know what the outcome is going to be of LSU's self-imposed sanctions over the Our Lady of the Lake deal, where they self-imposed 8 towards the 85 last year. When are we going to get word that the NCAA has accepted that, and that's the end of that? Because if you don't know that, I think they're going to get towards 20 by Labor Day. I still think they're going to get there, 19 or 20. But I kind of feel like they really need to be particular and hold back at least 3 in my mind, because you don't know what's going to happen in there. But I don't think the NCAA can come in and impose something when you've got a fully committed class and then make it happen right away. They would probably have to do it the following year. But a lot of this stuff that's going on with Will Wade in the NCAA and the hell of a, whatever the quote was, hell of a deal, damn strong offer, whatever it was. Isn't this stuff really kind of child's play now that the NIL is in full effect? What is a damn strong offer now that we have name, image, and likeness in effect? That's almost like, punishing somebody for a law that's changed. Because in the grand scheme of things, these kids, it's a free market. We're in semi-pro sports now. Mark Chambers, I hope not. Will COVID affect the UCLA game? I hope not. I know that's one of the things that they've said as to why they're bringing in 2 participants for each school for SEC football media days next week rather than 3. I think they figure that's easier for COVID protocol. They're not allowing as many media. They're giving us feeds to 1 camera in the room. They're spreading out Radio Row and not giving as many outlets access to that banquet room and however they set that up. I hope we don't go through any of that. I did see today, Brian had told me that Notre Dame is requiring that all media show proof of vaccination in order to be credentialed. So I don't know if Notre Dame's starting something. I have a hard time believing the SEC is going to follow suit with that, because if you're going to require that, how can you? Well, I guess you can require that of the media if they're going to be in the locker room interviewing players. But look, just because you've been vaccinated and like I know coming down from the press box, we're in an elevator with fans coming down, because the press box is where all the TAF seats are at. Someone could have COVID in the elevator, a fan, and then you're going to go in the locker room. I'm going to be curious to see how they handle all this. And is Notre Dame going to be the lone school out there that requires proof of vaccination? Blaine Smith, I hope we get Ricky Collins. I think LSU's in good shape with Ricky, and super kid. I was the first guy to go out and film him and been telling you guys about him for over a year now, and I was happy to see him get an offer. Woodlawn is going to be, I think I say it every week, Woodlawn is going to be a power. I see they're going to have a media day in a couple of Saturdays, and it's just Liberty's going to be a strong football team. Madison Prep, Zachary, Catholic. The quality of high school football in this area is just unbelievable to me. Now we just need my alma mater, Terra, Broadmoor, and a few other schools like that to up their game. I don't know what it's going to take. Yes, they do. Joseph Thaddeus Giat. Evan Stewart, I think LSU has a shot. I agree. And Walker Howard made it a point to get to Baton Rouge on that Sunday when he was on campus for an unofficial visit because he wanted to meet with him. And those two, I'm told, hit it off. So he's a real possibility. So could LSU finish with him and Shaz Preston, or is it only one of the two? They would take both, but I think maybe it might only be one more, and we'll see if it's Shaz Preston. Look who's chiming in while he's on vacation. Blake Ruffino, Are You Serious Sports? What is going on, my people? Blake is off this week on vacation. Where you at, Blake? Where you at right now? Let me know. Don't forget about Lafayette Parish, 4 state titles. Unbelievable. Lafayette, what they did last year, was insane. But the reason why I'm really pounding the table for Baton Rouge was when I started doing this, and probably till, a lot of this is the Katrina effect. Baton Rouge really didn't have much, if anything. 1 or 2 a kid. They would give the offensive coordinator the Baton Rouge area because it was really not a whole lot for them to do. You would have Jimbo Fisher would have Baton Rouge, and then he'd have South Florida when he'd get Ricky Jean Francois and Dwayne Bowe. They'd give Gary Croton, who was a horrible recruiter. He had Baton Rouge. And now you've got to have your best recruiters in Baton Rouge. And, of course, you got Ed Orgeron is as good as it gets. So it's just the number of kids. Baton Rouge is now bigger numbers-wise recruits than New Orleans. Believe it. So, and, yeah, Lafayette, what they did last year with all those state titles, Lafayette Christian, St. Thomas More, Acadiana, and who was the 4th one? Who's the 4th one, Charles? I'm losing my mind a little bit. Let's see. In Atlanta, real vacation now. Be back soon. Yeah, Blake does a fantastic show. I know a lot of you guys watch that. Yeah, Karen Crow, duh. Coach Tony Corville. I was there at the Neville game when they put it on Will Campbell and Neville. That was, what a game that was. Karen Crow, absolutely. Karen Crow's one of those schools that needs field turf. That might have been they might have won the award for the worst field that I saw. No, I take that back. East Ascension's field was the worst, but it was a monsoon that night. But as far as a dry field, I think Karen Crow had the worst conditions of a field. But it was a COVID year. Season got pushed back. It went later into December than normal. So I'm going to give them a little bit of a pass. But when is that going to be Kevin Falk Field and there's some field turf? What's going on, Kevin? Sidney Bonnet. Yeah, we lost Dylan Moses, Christian Harris, and Chris Allen from Baton Rouge to Bama. Christian Harris should have never happened. LSU really screwed the pooch on that one. Blame Coach Aranda on that one. Said he didn't think he was physical enough to play linebacker. Ignorant. Let's see. How's the recruitment going for Quincy Wiggins? Kenny Futch. Let me get it back. I think LSU's in great shape with him. I know a lot of people heard him on an interview Monday morning and got nervous. I think LSU, look, no doubt about it, Alabama's got barbers circling the parking lot. You know the drill. But I think between Andre Carter and Ed Orgeron and the number of times that Quincy Wiggins is on campus, when it's legal for him to be on campus for unofficial visits, I just don't see that being anything but. And I don't think Quincy's going to go very long either. We're going to get Emory Jones July 30th. And I will be shocked if Quincy Wiggins goes beyond first week in September, maybe game week, first week, or maybe sooner. I like where LSU sits with him. Let's see, guys. Let me scroll down a bit. Guys, do me a favor. I really want, a lot of you are subscribers of TigerBait. Go to TigerBait and subscribe. We got so much coming for you this football season. Give us a premium subscription. $1 gets you on the site. You can try it for a week. But really, go for the annual package. You get 3 months basically for free when you choose the annual. You get billed one time, and you'll get the savings versus the monthly. You want to be subscribed to us. You'll get our text alerts for breaking news, which we're about to have a whole lot. You get our newsletters, all our premium content, and we've got a lot coming your way for the upcoming football season and the upcoming LSU sports year. We're in a little bit of a lull right now, but I'm telling you, I'm getting geared up, and I'm about to get me a recurring supply of Rain and Bang energy drinks, because I'm going to be going 7 days a week for the next 6-8 months. So go to TigerBait and subscribe. We really want to have you as one of our premium subscribers. I know a lot of you guys, I notice your names in the chat are with us, and much appreciative for all of you that are TigerBait subscribers. So, but if you're not, we want to have you. Let's see. Harold Hilbert, he's one of our new guys, and glad to have you, Harold. I love the text alerts. Yeah, that's one of the most popular features, and I don't spam you. I'm the one sending the text alerts. I only spam you for the pertinent stuff, the major stuff, and that's one of the most popular features of TigerBait. Charles Duncan, TigerBait is a great deal, a bargain. Thank you, Charles. Charles has been with us for a long, long time, one of our great subscribers, and he's very active on our Tiger Den message board. Mark Chambers, 8 days a week. Yeah. Let's see. Here's a good question. Phantom 70815. Mike, do you think LSU covers the 4 points versus UCLA? I certainly do. Man, first week games are always tricky. I I kind of like the fact that LSU's going on the road. I think sometimes that can be good for concentration. The guys getting away, they're not having to deal with a lot of the stuff with home and is family going to be there. They get the tickets and all that stuff. I like LSU in that game. I think it's going to be a tough game. But yeah, I do think LSU covers, and I think LSU covers the 8.5 wins of the season that Vegas has been putting out multiple times. Just recently, they did it again, 8.5. I think LSU gets to 10 wins on the season, and if they stay healthy, maybe even better than that. So, CBS putting out that Coach O is on the hot seat was about the stupidest thing I've seen. Look, if the bottom fell out and LSU went, 7-5 or 6-6, yeah, he might be in trouble, but that's not going to happen. So why do you even need to write that? When the media is going to pick the placings of the preseason rankings, they're going to pick A&M over LSU, which is a good spot. I like it, but I think LSU absolutely is. I like the 10 wins, and if 8.5 is the number, I think 9 is the low. So if you're one of those people that likes to put money down, and I think 9 is safe. So they've really given you the sweet spot. I like to see where that number moves, because I think a lot of LSU fans are jumping on that if they're the type of folks that like to put their money where their mouth is. Let me scroll down a bit. James Phillips. Any scuttlebutt on Brennan versus Johnson? Of course, Coach Orgeron got a little provocative last week, said the locker room knows who the better guy is. I still think it's Max Johnson. Of course, part of that is the reason why neither one of them are going to be at SEC football media days, because LSU hasn't named a starter and they're not going to until the last minute. And but I think it's going to be Max. I just do. And I think it looks like the fan base is evenly divided, almost 50-50, because, I can say Max, and there can be two guys that are going to say it's Miles. So either way, it's a good problem for LSU to have. They've got a competition there, and they've got multiple quarterbacks that can play. So let's see. Dane Bergeron. Mike, are you going to cover the Manning camp? No, I'm not. I know Jacques Doucet's going. I've never gone down there for it. They don't give us access. I think maybe they let the media in, the cameras, to film a little bit of what's going on, so they have enough to put on the newscast. But they don't let us stand on the sideline and really watch the entire camp like we do at LSU and other camps. It's always been kind of locked down. Usually what I'll do is I'll just piggyback what the local TV stations will do. I've never actually gone down to that. But I do know both Miles and Max are going to be there. So I'll be watching Jacques Doucet's coverage on that one. Brett Hunter, I feel like O is just an easy target for the media. It doesn't matter what he does, whether he wins another championship. Any chance to get the media to pounce on that? I think LSU's going to bounce back. I think, to me, with Coach O, it's just consistency and not having an off season like last year and not having the USA Today stuff. Get that kind of stuff in the rearview mirror and get that stuff behind you as soon as you can. You get to 10 wins, 10 wins plus, and all that stuff will go by the wayside. And I have no doubt that LSU fans will have fun with all those national media folks on Twitter when LSU has a fantastic season, which I think they're going to. Let's see. Some smoke regarding the offensive Allen from Texas. I'm going to see on that one. Kevin Vercher, LSU could be undefeated going to the Auburn game. What's your take on Auburn? I like LSU against them. I think LSU's just got the right mix of talent, older guys in the program, line play, quarterback play. I believe that Pete's is going to be very reminiscent of what we saw 2 years ago. And so, yeah, who is the wild card? Is Arkansas going to be a wild card again? Everybody's talking about Ole Miss right behind LSU. Is Arkansas going to be, can Arkansas cause some trouble? Because I do think Arkansas is very well coached. Let's see. Mike, I was told that Satan's Amite Barber has passed on to greener pastures. I've heard that too, but I also hear that there's a short list. Let's see. Mike, do you see LSU undefeated before the Bama game? I think it's possible, unless they slip up. That's where the 10-2 comes in. Do they slip up? If they're 9-3, then they've slipped up. I think LSU's favored in every game but one. And then you always have to like when LSU goes to Alabama, they play Alabama better in Tuscaloosa. So you just never know what's going to happen. Now, Coach Saban's out telling people that this might be his best team in a long time. So we're going to see how that plays out. I think LSU's the wild card, says Brett Hunter. Yeah, I think they might be a wild card for the national people, but I think a lot of people are like me locally that think LSU's going to definitely finish second in the West and can push even for further than that. Look, if LSU, let's say if LSU does slip to Alabama, I know some people got mad at me because I said something similar last week. It is a tall order to go and beat Alabama in Tuscaloosa. But if you're undefeated and you beat A&M in that last game at home and you're sitting there at 11-1, and LSU is very much in the playoff talk, without going to Atlanta. So let's see how this plays out. Dylan LeBlue, first time posting. Thanks for posting, Dylan. This 21 team feels like our 2011 team. Thoughts? Yeah, you got a good point there, man. I think that there's a whole lot here. I think they're hungry. I think they were embarrassed by last season. I think you got a nice infusion of young coaches. They're working their tails off in the offseason. Look, I think this LSU football team, I can't wait. It's always fun as a media guy to cover a team that's going to do big things. So we're going to see. Dane Bergeron, absolutely. This LSU defensive line is the best in many years. I agree. Charles Duncan, LSU handles Arkansas comfortably. If you say if LSU is going to slip up, most people are going to say it could be Ole Miss, another shootout game, a crazy one, a 50-48 type of thing. Kentucky makes people nervous, so we'll see. Yeah, James Phillips, Arkansas Meat is saying at least 6 or 7 wins this year. I think that's a well-coached football team. Obviously, they're not as talented as LSU and other teams in the league, but I think they made a very strong hire up there at Arkansas. Faye Schubert, one of our best subscribers at TigerBait. I sure hope we see an aggressive LSU brand of defense this year. I think you're going to. And I think Andre Carter and all the coaches, Coach Baker and all of them. I think there's a lot going to happen there. And I don't have my glasses on. I saw LSU brand and I saw LSU band, and I was thinking again about the LSU not bringing the band to UCLA. Jim Milano, where's Buddy? He's got another date night tonight. So there you go. Yeah, this could be the one, Charles. I think LSU also handles Texas A&M comfortably. I've never bought into A&M, but boy, they're certainly chomping in the bit, because if they happen to beat LSU in Baton Rouge, they'll be able to then say they beat LSU 3 of the last 4 years. And that's, we know what happened in that overtime game in College Station. And I think last year, had Max Johnson started that game, they would have won. I've said that 100 times. There's just that game. Those 2 losses in my mind shouldn't have happened. I think LSU is more talented than A&M, and I just am not buying them. I don't buy them. Yeah, Durante Jones, Mike. Yeah, date night for Buddy. Hope he gets the gal home before midnight. Yeah, Buddy goes to bed at 10:30. You don't have to worry about that. I agree with Charles. Coach O hates A&M. LSU wins big against the Aggies. That place is going to be rocking. Tiger Stadium will be rocking that last game of the season, because that, if things go to the way we think they might go for LSU this season, that game could very much have major ramifications as far as to how the postseason plays out for both schools. Let's see. Aaron Fisk, getting a lot of Quincy Wiggins questions tonight. What's the story on Quincy Wiggins? Made a lot of people nervous Monday morning. Seemed iffy. Had a lot of people thinking, boy, that sure sounds like he's not interested in LSU. He's going to Alabama. I was getting texts, what's going on? And no, I like where LSU sits with the high 4-star defensive lineman from Madison Prep. Talks every day to Andre Carter, just as much to Ed Orgeron. He's always on campus. I don't see that happening. All those kids are tight, and he's very, very close with Emory Jones, who's going to announce his decision on July 30th. Let's see. All right, guys, I tell you what, I'm gonna want to thank you all for coming tonight. Please go to TigerBait and subscribe. We want to have you. Choose the annual package, like as always. Please like and share, and we'll be back next week. And I've got a lot more content coming your way. I'll have the baseball press conference up on our YouTube channel tomorrow, and I'll be on the Tiger Den message boards day and night the rest of the way, answering your questions there every day of the week. So go to TigerBait, subscribe. We want to see you there. And much thanks to all of you for participating tonight. Thanks to Pride Roofing for making it all happen as well. And Sanji will be in the studio with us again next week. So good night, guys. Much appreciated.